It's the activities of this outlawed group, the Mombasa Republican Council MRC, that set the agenda for Prime Minister Raila Odinga during the weekly Prime Minister's question time. The group has been pushing for the cessation of the coast region from the Republic of Kenya, claiming that the region had been marginalized. The Prime Minister was put on the spot for allegedly advocating for negotiations with the group, despite it being an outlawed entity.
This is a dangerous group. They are not different from Al-Qaeda. If we can engage as a government this group, then that means in other regions we will start similar MRCs.
Mr. Speaker, is it therefore then government policy that on one hand you outlaw these organizations, but on the other hand you want to engage them as if they are proper organized units?
That the government will only engage with any of the banned organizations if they first renounce the criminal activities in which they had been involved before there can be any kind of engagement. That was very, very clear.
Members of the outlawed Mombasa Republican Council have taken on the government in the coast region as it pursues its secessionist agenda. It's among the 33 organized criminal gangs that were outlawed by Internal Security Minister Professor George Saitoti through a Gazette Notice number 12585 dated 18th October 2010. The proscribed groups include Mungiki, Chinkororo, Sungusungu and Jeshi la Mzee. Some of the utterances made by the MRC leaders have been declared a threat to national security by the government.
Kwani hakuna kura 2012. Baada ya serikali kutuambia kwamba sisi ni kundi haramu, tunataka watuonyeshe uharamu wetu ni upi?
Members of parliament accused the government of double standards and adopting a softer stance when dealing with the proscribed MRC element.
We cannot have one group of people being treated one way and another one being killed. We have had many Kikuyu young people who have been killed senselessly.
I am myself very much against the use of force, particularly weapons like guns, to deal with issues which are of political nature. That political problems require political solutions, not armed solutions. And that's the reason why, Mr. Speaker, I'm suggesting the route of negotiations.
The MRC group has cited challenges of irregular land allocation and the perennial squatter problem in the coast region as its main reason for pushing for cessation.
How does the Prime Minister think they are addressing the causes which MRC are trying to recruit the coastal people for, if indeed they are not helping the cause of MRC, Mr. Speaker?
Land issue, Mr. Speaker, sir, is very crucial all over. It's not only in coast, even in Rift Valley. So if you open up one side, make sure that the others also will come up.
As I said, that there are cells. You have cells which are, Mr. Speaker, very open and very civil and are making genuine demands. But there are, of course, radicalized cells which, Mr. Speaker, are talking about secession, talking about arming the people to fight like a guerrilla war, and so on. So, Mr. Speaker, you're not really dealing with one homogeneous movement.
Members of the Mombasa Republican Council have moved to the High Court sitting in Mombasa to challenge the government's decision to declare it an outlawed organized criminal group. The Prime Minister assured Parliament and the public in general that the group's leaders and financiers were well known and that the government would deal with them decisively. Francis Gashuri, Citizen Live at 9.